Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Annabelle and I hope you're doing well. I hope you're blessed. Today I am back with another video on books. I know it's been a while since I filmed the video on what book I'm currently reading or just sharing with you what books I've bought so far. So today I thought I would do that. I've bought quite a few books recently. So I shared with you all somewhere around last year my reading list for 2021, and I've managed to buy some of the books on my reading list for this year, and there's one of them that I'm currently reading, so I thought I would share it with you all, so stay tuned. Okay, so in no particular order, I'm just going to go through the books that I've bought so far. So the first one is Desiring God by John Piper. So I've been wanting to read this book for a really long time. I shared this in my reading list, the video that I made, and I'm really happy that I finally bought it. And it's actually the book I am currently reading. It's really good, but it's one of those books that you need to take your time to read it. It's not a novel. It's it's a book about God. It's a book on how to basically deepen your relationship with God. So it takes time. Like, every time I'm reading it, I have my Bible next to me, and there are certain verses that he will quote, and I have to kind of cross-check in my Bible, or there are certain concepts in there that I've never heard before. So I have to pause and then go online and research it. So it's taking me a while to read it, but I'm learning. It's one of those books that you're learning and enjoying it at the same time. So I'm just going to read the back and what it says on the back of the book for you. So it says, satisfaction, happiness, joy. According to John Piper, the pursuit of pleasure in God is not only permissible, it's essential. Desiring God is a paradigm-shattering work that dramatically alters common perspectives on relating to God. Piper reveals that there really is no need to choose between duty and delight in the Christian life. In fact, for the follower of Jesus, delight is the duty because Christ is most magnified in his people when they are most satisfied in him. This saying is one of the famous sayings of John Piper. So this book is just really is really teaching me a lot, to be honest, so far, like how to kind of give God glory in everything that we do with our lives. And like I said, I'm learning a lot from it, so that's probably why it's taking me a lot of time to read it. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and keep on reading it, but it may probably take me a while to finish it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I would actually encourage people to get it if you're a Christian and you would want to know more about how to live your life to glorify God, how to glorify God in everything that you do. Desiring God is a really good book to get. So yeah, I'll put the link of where I got it from in the description, so you can purchase one if you want. So the second book I've got here is called Taking Up Space by Chelsea Kwache and Ore Ogombi. Yeah, so I mentioned this in my reading list for 2021 as well, and I'm kind of looking forward to reading it as well because I had watched quite a few reviews on it and it was quite interesting, so I was like, I'm gonna get it. But yeah, let me just read a bit about it from the back for you. So it says, in white institutions, taking up space as a minority is an act of resistance. You know you don't automatically belong. You know that the institution was never built or shaped with people like you in mind. You know that it feels impossible to be your true self, like you simply don't fit. So this book is actually about the two authors and their journey of being at Oxford University. Yeah, so they went to Oxford University and they basically talk about being black and being in a university space like Oxford. So I'm actually really looking forward to reading it. Not Oxford, they went to Cambridge. Not Oxford, Cambridge. But yeah, so like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to reading it, and it's one of those books that I had read and watched a few reviews about it. So finally bought it and I am going to be reading it, and I'll probably do a review on it. So yeah, let's look forward to reading this book. And then the next book I've got here, I don't know if you can see, it has a beautiful cover. So it's called Between the Generations, and it's actually an anthology for Amata Edu. So it's kind of like some of the different stories that she's written and other stories by other African poets put together. And my brother-in-law actually bought me this book all the way from Ghana, so I haven't even taken the packaging off because I'm not going to read it yet. I have other books that I'm going to prioritize over this, because this is a type of book, or I think because Amata Edu is kind of about her, so, or it's about what she's written, so I want to take my time and read it because I find her to be a really interesting writer, and when I'm reading anything that she has written, I really want to take my time and kind of understand what the story is about. So I'm going to take my time and read it, and I'm also looking forward to some of the other stories that are in the book, since it's like a collection of stories by various African writers. So yeah, I'll probably share with you guys what I think about it when I finally do read it. But yeah, I bought this from Ghana. I mean, my brother-in-law got it for me from Ghana, so I don't know if they'll have it here. I'll try and find a link for it and link it below if it is available in stores in the UK. So yeah, an anthology for Amata Edu. And then the next book that I've bought is called Homegoing by Ya Jesse. So this is also on my reading list for 2021. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know what my light is doing, but yeah. So as soon as I bought this book, I kind of just started reading it because I was like, oh, I've been really looking forward to reading it, and I've actually read a few pages. I've read quite a few pages. I've read like 50 pages so far, and I haven't touched it again because then I wanted to start reading Desiring God. But this book is really interesting. It's fun, and it's actually about two sisters. So I'm just going to read the back for you. So it says, Effia and Essie, two sisters with two very different destinies. One sold into slavery, one a slave trader's wife. The consequences of their fate reverberate through the generations that follow, from the Gold Coast of Africa to the plantations of Mississippi, from the missionary schools of Ghana to the dive bars of Harlem. Spanning continents and generations, Ya Jesse has written a miraculous novel, an intense, heartbreaking story of one family, and through their lives, the story of America itself. Yeah, so that's the book by Ya Jesse, and I really like the cover of the book as well, and I'm looking forward to carry on reading it. Just the 50 pages alone that I've read is really amazing, and it's one of those books that I'm going to read and I'm going to really like it, and it's just going to be fun reading it. So I'm looking forward to finishing it, but I have to finish the Desiring God book first. But yeah, a book like this, I would really encourage anyone to just get a copy and read it this summer. Especially, it's one of those books that is just, you know, when it's sunny outside, you can just sit outside with this book and just read it, and it's nice. It's chilled. It's one of those books, so definitely get it and read it. I know Ya Jesse also has another book that came out, I think last year or a couple of years ago, and I'm probably going to get that book as well. But after I finish this book, I'm trying not to buy too many books, but to actually finish all the books that I've got first before I buy any new ones. I say this, but I know I'll probably buy new ones again, but hopefully not. And then the last book that I've got here is called God's Design for Women. God's Design for Women. So I've actually read a couple of chapters of this book already, because I actually bought this book because in my church we have a women's book club, and this book was on the book list, and it was actually the book that we were reading for the month of March and April. Basically, we actually just finished this book for our women's book club, and we're now going on to the next book. So I've read a couple of chapters, because for our book club we read a chapter each time. So a specific chapter is chosen, and then we read it, and when we come together we discuss it. So far I've read like 3 chapters in this book, and it's really good. And one thing I love about this book is just how it's kind of like debunking some of society's like ideas or assumptions and stuff like that about women, just like the book's title says, God's design for women. And I've enjoyed reading it because it's just been nice, you know, to to read what God has actually designed for us as women, or what God has actually designed us for as women, and not have to kind of like feel like we have to live up to the expectations of society. So that there's one of the chapters that we treated in our book club was motherhood, and I loved reading the chapter. I think so far it's one of my favorite chapters in the book, and it talks about how like being a mom or being like a housewife, or you know, it's not really seen as like, it's not really put on a high pedestal in society, because we're kind of currently living in a society where we are told as women that, you know, like we have equality, so that means we have to do this, we have to do that. And women who may want to actually do something like just live their lives, just being a mom, not even just being a mom is not a just, but you know, like I hope you know what I mean. Like nowadays, like for example, someone my age, if someone my age said that they wanted to be a mom, that's what they want to do. They want to be a mom, and that's it. Or they want to be a housewife, and that's it. You know, like the looks, or even some of the things that they would, some of the backlash that they would probably get. But you know, it's part of, for me personally, I feel like it's part of our mandate as women, not just to become like a mom to your own children, but naturally we are, you know, we are called to be caregivers naturally. So it's not really a surprise. But nowadays in our society, it's kind of like such an unheard of thing, like for women to want to do things like that. And this book beautifully talks about it, and it's really encouraging women to, you know, to live and do the things that God has designed them for. And it really talks a bit about feminism as well, kind of like the toxicity of feminism and some of the ills that feminism has kind of brought into society. And I'm looking forward to reading that, because I have my own perspectives on feminism as an ex-feminist. But yeah, I'm gonna be reading this book as well, and I'll probably share with you all what I think about it when I've fully read it. Like I said, I've read a few chapters, but I'll take my time and read the entire book and then share with you in a review what I think about it. So these are all the books I've bought so far, and let me know if any of them interest you. If you're thinking of getting any of them, you can share with me if you've bought any new books recently, and if you have any books that you think I should get, even though I don't want to buy any new books until I've read these. If there's a book that you're like, no, Annabelle, I think you need to read this book, let me know in the comments below and I will check it out. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.